Tell us about your family.
I grew up. My parents. My dad was a chemist, and he worked in a chemical company. And my mom was a stay-home mom, focusing on raising us. We are three boys. The two older boys are twin, and then about 13 years later, it's me. I'm the youngest.
So your two older brothers, how far apart in age are they? From you?
For me, it's about 13 years, and they are twins.
And at some point, what are their names and what do they do?
So Sharif Iskander, he lives in Tyler, Texas. It's a small town close to Dallas in Texas. He's a cardiologist, a heart doctor. And Rafat Iskander, he lives here in Glendale, and he is a pediatric neurologist focusing on autism and epilepsy. And he has his practice here in Hollywood.
When you were young, did your father pass away?
No, my father passed away 1 year after my kids passed away.
Okay. Why did you move from Egypt to America?
For studying first, but with the intent to continue and work here. My two brothers were already in the States. So I came right after graduation from pharmacy school in Egypt to join them. My brother was doing a cardiology fellowship at Baylor College of Medicine. That's why when I applied, although I applied in 24 universities and got accepted in 8, I picked Baylor to be close to him and follow his path as well.
Was there a reason that you chose Texas besides your brother lived there for your career?
So my other brother also was doing his pediatric residency and then a neurology fellowship in Dallas. So I had both of my brothers were in Texas, so I wanted to be close to them.
And was there any medical facilities or type of work being done in that area that you wanted to pursue when you graduated with your PhD?
Yes. First of all, Baylor College of Medicine is a very reputable medical school, so I was very fortunate to be accepted in the program and excited, and that's why I joined there. And because I studied cancer biology, that opened the door for me to work at MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is the biggest research hospital for cancer in the U.S. I worked there for 3 years, and I stayed in Texas hospital there.
At MD Anderson, the cancer research facility there in Texas.
Yes,
it's in Houston, isn't it?
It is in Houston, yeah. It's right across the street from Baylor College of Medicine. The buildings are.
And is Baylor College of Medicine a good school?
It's a very good school. It's one of the top medical schools.
Are you married, and to whom, if you are?
I am married to Nancy Iskander.
And how long have you and Nancy Iskander been married?
We have been married since 2008.
And where is she from?
She is also from Alexandria, Egypt. She also graduated from pharmacy school, the same pharmacy school I graduated from, but we only overlapped for a year and we didn't see each other there. I saw her for the first time physically in Houston.
And how did you all meet?
So that was a very fortunate introduction. So Nancy was singing in a Catholic choir in a Catholic church in Alexandria, and my neighbor where I grew up, she was also singing in that choir. Older, she's the age of my mom, and Nancy mentioned to her that she's interested in studying in the U.S. And so she mentioned that, I know someone in the U.S. I can connect you with him. He can help you with answering your questions and with studying in the U.S. But there is also an underlying kind of introduction, like to get to know each other and see if you guys are a good fit for each other.
You and your wife, did you live in Texas for a little while?
Yes, we lived in Texas for a while. Mark, Jacob, and Zachary were born in Texas.
So 3 of your sons were born in Texas. And where did you live in Texas?
So since my graduate school, I bought a small town home from my brother. My brother had me, so he kind of give it to me, and I paid a bit by bit until I covered the cost of the town home. It was a very little but very fit for a small family. We got married there. Mark was born there. Jacob was born there.
Do you still have that townhome?
I do. I kept it because it's super close to the medical center, and I thought maybe Mark, because he has been very promising in school, he may go to Rice University or he may go to Baylor College of Medicine. So I always thought, you know what, let's keep that town home. It's very close to our heart, and it can be of service for the kids.
Why did you move to Westlake, California?
So I was working for a company that got acquired by Amgen, and Amgen offered me a position and the position will be based in Thousand Oaks in close to Westlake Village in California. I already came to the campus a couple of times, and I really loved the Thousand Oaks Westlake area. It's a very family-oriented place. So I was excited when they offered to bring us here.
Amgen is a pharmaceutical company?
Correct. It's a biotech company, which basically a pharmaceutical company, but focus on biological drugs.
What did you do there?
I was the first 2 years I was in clinical development, supporting development and life cycle of products. Then I transitioned back to medical affairs with Amgen.
During this time, was your wife working outside the home?
My wife, when part of joining Amgen, they facilitated some interviews for my wife, and she interviewed and she got a job at Amgen as well. So she was working with me at Amgen.
So at the time, September 2020, both you and your wife were working together at Amgen. Is that right?
That is correct.
And how many children did you have?
We had 4 children.
Could you tell us who they are and their ages in 2020?
Yeah, Mark Iskander. He was 11 years old. Jacob Matthew Iskander. He was 8. Zachary John Iskander. He was 5, and Violet, she was a year and a half.
Do you have any other children?
Now we have a 4-year-old, Solomon.
What is his full name?
Solomon Luke Iskander.
What is Jacob's full name?
Jacob Matthew Iskander.
And why did you name your son Solomon?
Because David in the Bible lost his beloved son with Bathsheba, and then after that, God allowed him to have another son, and he called him Solomon. So I called my son Solomon. I did not want to give him my name as a middle name because that's Mark and only Mark. We gave him the middle name Luke because we had Mark, Matthew with Jacob, we have John with Zachary. So with Luke, we will have the 4 apostles of the gospel.
And was that a hard decision to have another child?
It was very hard because my wife, Nancy, had 4 C-sections with the 4 kids. So after having the daughter, we were also informed that it will be life-threatening for her to have another kid. And we were recommended for her to take out the tubes, and we agreed. So she took out the tube, so she cannot have any more kids. So when Mark and Jacob passed away, she did not want this to be the closure. So we wanted to have another kid. So we went for IVF to that was the only option to have a kid. And it was also during COVID, so we had to navigate waiting for vaccines to come out before getting pregnant. It was very stressful time. We still were worried because the doctor said it's life-threatening for her to get pregnant again. But she told me
And how has that
she was unstoppable to
how has
that.
that been going?
It's always a blessing. It's a gift from God, but it also emotionally for me, for Nancy, for everyone is very hard to have changing diaper, crying kid, crazy active kid, very stubborn, the most active and stubborn kid we have, and instead of having a best friend, going to planning to go to college, playing sports, with a 14-year-old and an almost 17-year-old kid, we are running after, and
I'd like to talk a little bit about your son, Mark. What is his full name?
I mentioned Mark Iskander.
Okay. I'm going to show Exhibit 15-83. When you see this picture, tell us what you see.
Yeah, this is a picture of my son, Mark. This was in Cancun about, I think this was the Thanksgiving before he passed away.
Is it emotional for you to testify here today?
It is very emotional. It has a lot of mixed feelings. I in a way, I have been waiting for 6 years, but at the same time, I really don't like to talk about this particularly in public.
I want to just have you tell us about Mark.
So, Mark is an awesome kid, and it's not because he's my son, and it's not because he passed away. He is truly, sincerely the kid that you will wish for yourself. He is very intelligent, and in school. He's also very emotionally savvy. He has a gift for understanding people and people feeling and sensitivity to that. No one in the family had that. He was truly gifted in this. He had a gift in public speaking and charisma and engaging on stage and in social settings, and he was very confident and outspoken. And he had a very kind heart and caring heart for his siblings and for his mom and dad and for his friends. So with this, I felt very blessed and lucky.
How did you feel when your son was born? Your first son?
I was very excited. Again, we lived in a small town home in Houston, and he was the first kid to be baptized in a new built church, St. Mark Church. So that's actually why we called him Mark, which is after the Apostle Mark who brought Christianity to Egypt. Is beautiful. When he was born, he had blue eyes. It went away after a few months. But he was always a charismatic, engaging kid, and I have been happy and proud of him since he was born, and that kept growing every year with how he thrived and flourished.
Let's show you page 15, Exhibit 15-70. And if you could explain this for us, please. You just mentioned St. Mark's Church, but that's the wrong one. It's about 70. Okay, what is that?
That is a picture right in front of the townhome that we lived in Houston, and this was the after baptism party gathering after Mark was baptized.
And is that your wife, Nancy, on the far, from where I'm looking right, if you're looking to go the way left of the picture?
No, I believe those are all, but I don't think
Okay.
either. I think my wife was probably the one taking this picture.
Oh, okay. Let's go to, did you spend a lot of time with Mark when he was a young Chuck?
Yes, of course. He's my firstborn kid, excited, healthy, good boy. Nancy also was working as a pharmacist at CVS. She was working 12-hour shifts. So so I would typically be the one picking up Mark from daycare on the days she is working the 12-hour shifts, and I will spend time with him either at home or at Chick-fil-A or doing things with him.
Describe his personality.
As I mentioned, he was very charismatic. And that every year he would flourish more than the year before, and his skills will show up more, both his technical skills, like in school. So he was in the honors math class, like, you know, he was attending math with the older kids at school. That's how they allowed it.
So in other words, he was ahead of his grade doing math.
Exactly, and he was also the youngest in his class to begin with, but he was also attending the math classes with the older kids. He had a lot of friends, and he loved them, and they loved him. But I always reminded him that family comes first, and don't get distracted with friends from your brothers, from Jacob and Zachary, because friends come and go, but family are forever. And I always instilled that in him, and he was very receptive to it. I mentioned also he was very emotionally savvy, so he would also do a lot of things and say a lot of things for me and Nancy that are that makes us super happy.
What were Mark's interests and aspirations?
He wanted to be a brain surgeon, and he wanted to be a comedian and entertainer. So he wanted to be a brain surgeon in the morning, and at night stand-up comedy and entertainment.
What type of things did you and Mark do together?
Of course, we did a lot of things together. We used to bike from our place to Agora to Tifa's ice cream. And
How far is that?
It's 7 miles each way, so it's usually a 14-mile round trip, with 14, 15 miles round trip. It is very, I was super excited about moving to Westlake Village because it is like super family oriented and super safe. There are sidewalks that are super well maintained and connected everywhere. It is not like Texas or Massachusetts, where you actually you have a sidewalk and then it suddenly disappears, or a bike lane and suddenly disappear. They build it in a way that the sidewalks and the bike lanes are continuous to protect recreational and pedestrians. So we will take our bikes from home. We will go to Agora. He will be on the sidewalk. I will be in the bike lane next to him, and we'll go this way. We'll take Triunfo. It's a very wide sidewalk, very safe. Then we will take Lindero. It's a very nice. It has a wavy sidewalk and a very broad sidewalk with flowers and trees. And then we'll take Agora and go to the ice cream, sit there, chat, have the ice cream, come back, and there are so many other activities. I just use that example.
I'd like to show you Exhibit 402-1, and if you could explain what this is about.
Yeah, this was in Houston. This was the first time we took Mark to Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was kind of a love first sight for him, first bite for him. So he became a big fan of wings, and we used to continue to go. Sometimes I go just me and him, and we eat wings and chat and bond together as friends. Sometimes we bring the boys, so Jacob and Zachary, and sometimes the whole family, we will go together. It became a very frequent spot to go to together.
Did you and Mark cook together?
Yes, he liked to cook. So Nancy will do like mini shopped competition between me and Mark. So the food competition, and she'll keep it simple, but we will be very creative and compete. And I would compete as much as I can, but I still mostly lost somehow.
What role did Mark play within your family?
He was definitely the center of the family. He was pulling us together. Again, he was very emotionally savvy. So he knows how to connect with everyone, particularly within the family. And Jacob and Zachary were following him like a glue. I mean, they were just fascinated by Mark and just following in his footsteps in everything. And he became my best friend when, around the age of 10, because he really thrived. His personality became much more charismatic and sophisticated. So we will bond as friends. We will also help each other in social situations. I'll give him advice. He will give me advice. It started actually very proactively by him. So one time my wife was stressed out about something. I asked her logistical questions, and he's like, "Dad, is that really the right way to handle this?" And it's like, you should listen, you should comfort her, not grill her with questions about it. And then after that, I actually start engaging him more, even with things at work. I tell him, like, if there is a tension or something, I will chat with him about it. Partially because I trust his talent, but also I want to train him. I want to feed this talent to grow, because I started learning those things when I was in my late 30s. He already had it at the age of 10. So if I feed it, he will be 10 times much earlier success in life and in career and in marriage and everything, because I wanted to grow the talent that he already had.
Mark 402-3. What was this?
Yeah, this was a note that Mark wrote at school about me. So once upon a time, there was a fierce hero who had the strength of 500 people. His name was Kareem. He won a lot of wrestling matches. So I have a deal with Mark that every time I travel for business, I owe him an hour of wrestling, and he really liked that. So when I come back home, no matter how much I am tired or international travel, I need to be ready for an hour of wrestling on the carpet. We'll do like judo style stuff, pillow fights. Usually include the other two boys because once we start, they join us. But it was a promise, and he really, really cherished that. He really liked that activity together. And I did as well. Yeah.
Did Mark provide emotional support to you?
Many. So when you have a kid that is that smart, that emotionally talented, that kind-hearted, you feel secure, you feel empowered, you feel you are taken care of, you feel that tomorrow will be better than today, the future is bright.
Did you see Mark show affection and care towards his mother?
Very much. He
Tell
will
us about
compliment her a lot. The day he passed, when she picked him up, he spontaneously told her, the lunch you made for me was awesome. It was the perfect balance between healthy and junk food. He sang to her. He made surprises for her. He would wake up and get ready for school and get his two brothers ready and dressed for school as a surprise for mom at 6 a.m. So when we wake up at 6 a.m., they are all standing in school uniforms, sometimes accidentally on Saturday, but they will surprise us like that. You just remind me of also something that, so a couple of days ago, it was Mother's Day. And I messed up. I was stressed about work. I was stressed about the case here, and I didn't do anything. And the kids are young and not that young. I mean, exactly it's 10, but they also didn't do anything special for mom. And Nancy was severely heartbroken because she remembers what Mark and Jacob did for Mother's Day. Mark will write a song and sing for her. Jacob will prepare her breakfast in bed. Mark would have never allowed me or us to do this mistake, and she knows it. But it's just a different family.
What nickname did people call Mark?
Yeah, at school they called him Wicked Smart, and Nancy told me that, so I did ask him about it. I actually think that was the day before he died. We were in front of the house, and I asked him, "Hey, I heard they called you Wicked Smart," and he said, "Yes, Dad, and I got that from you." He was that sweet. He mean it, and he knows also the impact of that. And I told him, I'm glad, but also I have an accent. I don't speak as good of English like you, Mark. And he told me, no, your accent is fine. You don't have a bad accent or much of an accent, but your grammar is so. You need Miss Mesa to fix your grammar. So I told him, look, all right, here is the deal. He had a very strict English teacher called Miss Mesa, and he said, I told him, I will do all the English homework with you from now on, so that maybe by the time you finish your class with Miss Mesa, my grammar will be fixed.
Because of his academic performance, did you move him earlier to another school than the Ascension school that he was going to?
Yes, the last year, it was at Oaks Christian School. He interviewed for Oaks Christian, and I remember the lady who interviewed him ran after the interview to us to congratulate us on having such a kid. And I told her, like, why? What did he say? And I don't recall all what she said, but the answers he gave, it's unbelievable for a 10-year-old. She asked him why you want to join Oaks Christian, and he told her something along the line of, we have choices in life, and we make choices based on priorities and where we want to go as a human being, and the mission of Oaks Christian is aligned with where I want to go. That's why I want to be part of this mission. I mean, for a 10-year-old, and we didn't tell him anything about this. I mean, this is 100% him. We didn't prepare him for anything like that. And hearing that is unbelievably rewarding. And they also end up offering us an unbelievable discount and scholarship, because it's otherwise it's a very expensive school without the help they provide.
In addition, you mentioned that he wanted to be a neurosurgeon and a comedian. Was there anything else that he wanted to be?
He wanted to be an entertainer in general. He wanted to be a singer, songwriter, actor. Every time I at work, for example, the past 2 days I was in meeting in my company, and the meeting is just basically watch people on stage all day, and you see people who are very talented, naturally can connect with people, and you see people that are nervous and struggling, and you see people who are trying hard, but they just don't have the natural ability. You have the mix of people. And every time I'm in that situation, I just can't think of anyone but Mark. I mean, how he would have thrived in this. I mean, he had a natural gift for this, and he would have been light years ahead of anyone like this.
When was the last time you spoke with him about being a singer?
So the day before he died, we were walking pretty much where, like minutes away from where he died. It was I remember we were turning the corner, we were walking, turning the corner from Triunfo Canyon into Three Springs. And he told me he wrote a song and composed it. So I said, okay, let me hear it. And he sang a song. It was like very Johnny Cash style song. And he wrote, the way it was written, it was like a Johnny Cash poem, like it's a real thing. It was not complete, but it's half a song. But and he sang it to me, and I remember because he always did that. This was not the first time, but every time before it was kind of kiddish, and I would, as guys, as boys and guys, we pick on each other. So I would always tell him like, oh, very great song, but you better study hard because I don't think you can make a living out of this song. But that day when I heard that song, I told him, you know what, you probably could be more successful in entertainment than in medicine. So this is very different. Yeah.
I'm going to show Exhibit 402-4. And is this the song?
Yes. So at Oaks Christian, they request to have an Apple iPad. So we got him an Apple iPad, and when he passed away, I looked at his Apple iPad and I saw that he wrote the song. He wrote the half song that he sang to me. So this is what he wrote, and he sang to me like Johnny Cash style. I will butcher it if I try to say it, but yeah. Well, I come from a place, it's faraway land, where for miles and miles, all that you can see is sand, where every snake rattles, not one human thrives. Let me tell you a story of so many things, of my life, my love, and some scorpion stings. So listen up. When I was born in Kentucky, where the buffalo roam, we had an old cabin that my family called home. And he told me one more area that he hadn't had the chance to write it yet, but he also said something else about my mom wanted daughter, and but something along those lines.
All right, so you told us a little bit about his talents and such. Was there a talent show, specific one that you have memory of something that you really enjoyed seeing?
So Mark always participated in the talent shows. And by the way, he paved the way for his brothers as well. So Jacob participated with him when he got old enough. And he frequently won awards for the talent show. There was one talent show that was very unique because he told me for the talent show, he will be jumping rope. And I told him, like, are you sure, Mark? You will just go on stage and jump rope. Everyone can jump rope. Like it will not be special. And he's like, that. Just don't worry about it. Just come. Don't worry about it. And I went there. It was amazing what he did.
We've shown it, but let's see 4322. He was doing this for a long time, so we're not going to show the whole thing. But we're going to show part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are other parts. He took it off and let's get ridiculous and stuff like that. And I had a meeting right after, like the week after, and it was international meeting, and everyone was jet lagged, and I knew I was presenting, and I went to the stage, and I knew that if I start presenting, I would just the scientific data, I would just put them to sleep because they were like toasted already. So I played that video for my coworkers and the team, and I asked everyone to stand up and jump with it, and they also loved it, and it kind of saved the day. We were tortured.
Did Mark have a sense of humor?
Very. I mean, he really, again, he knew. He was way ahead of his age in coming up with things, and even as he became my best friend. I mean, and not only me. I took him to events after work, and my coworkers knew him very well. I mean, because
he was bring him to work.
I did bring Mark and Jacob to work. So there was days that you are allowed to bring kids to work. And they interacted with some, but I would say he bonded more when we met after work, and I would bring him with me because he wasn't like a kid where coworkers will say like hi and play with him. He was actually truly engaging, sincerely engaging with, and I was very proud of him. He strengthened my social feeling and success, to be honest.
I want to show 4328. This is a video. Did you film this video of him telling some jokes? Remember, let's play it.
I filmed a lot of things for him. Yeah.
Sorry.
Songs and jokes and.
4328.
Hey, Mark, are you ready?
Yes, let's get. I want to sing. Remember they come here? Remember it? They're all just myself, so I won't be offended if you don't laugh at me. I know you will.
Fish.
Okay, let's get started. How's your quarantine been? Mine and not so good. My mom took up this crazy rule. Like 3 days ago, we skipped dinner. Mom, that's the seventh most important meal of the day.
Fish.
Yeah. Now I get my allowance in toilet paper. Don't forget an old roll, just for no boxes. And credit cards, I don't give them get too.
Do you remember the last birthday Mark celebrated?
Yes, very much, because Mark's birthday was September 18 and he passed away September 29. So it was like 2 weeks before he died. We usually give him options. Do you want a birthday party, or you want a trip, or you want an activity? And he picked to spend a day at the beach with his friend and I. So I took his friends and him to, if I recall correctly, Malibu Beach, Zumba Beach in Malibu. And we spent the day there. It was amazing. When I came back, I told my wife, I had so much fun. I want to do this all the time, at least monthly, because it was just a fun group of young boys that are just amazing together. Connor, Hunter, Asher, Brady. They were awesome as a group, and I had a blast with them.
Does Mark have a grandmother named Joyce?
Yes, that's my Nancy's mom.
And did Joyce, Nancy's mom, I don't know what's her last name?
Gabriel.
Okay. Did she ever live with you?
Yes. After we had Jacob, she's an eye doctor, ophthalmologist in Egypt, in Alexandria, and she's very hard working mom. She had 3 jobs: the government job and 2 private jobs. And when she finished her government job, she came to. When she retired from the government job, she came to visit us, and And when she met Mark and Jacob, and also saw how busy we are with the kids, she basically called back her 2 other jobs and said, "I'm not coming back. I'm staying here to help my mom."
Did
And
she lived with your family and helped and was integral part of your family?
yes, she is. She was
And did
definitely
she,
part of the family, and especially Mark and Jacob, exactly. Yeah.
because they were doing a lot more activities and you and your wife were working, so she was providing assistance.
Yes,
Did
more
she
than
have a
assistance.
birthday?
was
More than
really-
assistance.
yeah.
Did she?
was what? More than assistant?
More than assistance. She was very engaged, also emotionally with the kids. Yeah.
Is her birthday close in time to Mark's?
Yes, one day before her birthday is September
So
17.
when that birthday, 2 weeks before the death, did she celebrate that with Mark?
Yes, I gave my credit card to Mark to take her out on a date on her birthday.
Tell
Because
us about that. Mark took, how old is he now?
he's turning 11 at the moment, and I think it was, if I recall correctly, it was the second time he is doing this. So one time he took her to Lazy Dog, and one time took her to Cheesecake Factory. So when he turned 10 and when he turned 11, and she was a day earlier, so he took her to celebrate her birthday, and I told him, like, take
So
her
tell us-
wherever, take her to a restaurant that you choose, and he chose restaurants that she will like, typical Mark. And I told him, like, order, whatever you want, whatever she wants, and so he can also feel like a man in charge, and he's the one who's paying the bill, and knows how to take care of people that he cares about.
Tell us about Mark's faith and dedication to his church.
Mark was very loved by his Sunday school teachers. He had strong heart and he has strong faith. Particularly his Sunday school teacher, she was amazed by him. She loved Mark. She loved his questions. She said that he would ask challenging questions out of the box, very deep thought, and she just adored that. They went on retreats, church retreats sometimes, Mark and Jacob, together with other boys' retreats. One time also, when they came back, the organizer, she called us, like, you have the most amazing kids, because we didn't have enough beds for all the kids, and the kids were fighting and running to get to the beds. And Mark told her up front that he and Jacob don't mind sleeping on the floor, that they can give the beds to other kids. They have no problem sleeping on the floor.
What did you enjoy the most about being Mark's father?
He brought joy to my heart all the time. I mean, when you are the dad of such smart and thoughtful and promising and caring kid, you feel secure, you feel confident, you feel protected, you feel proud, you feel excited. I was showing off with him, to be honest, a lot, because it was definitely a kid you will be super proud of.
How did Mark show his affection towards you?
Again, he especially with time and with spending a lot of time together, one-on-one, and sometimes as a group, and with playing sports together, playing baseball, football, basketball. We grew very close, going for wings, going out together for different things. He became my best friend. I could have a conversation with him as even better than my best friend, because he was my son, so I would even enjoy it more. But he was capable of having really true deep discussions and thoughtful discussions.
I'm going to show 15-14. Is this you with the boys?
Yeah, that was in the that was in the middle of the night in a sleepover train in Egypt between Cairo and Luxor. So we went in 20, I believe that was 2019, and we were in that train. We were all jet lagged and awake in the middle of the night, and we were having fun we had like a cab, like a closed cabin for our family on the train, and it was a 12-hour ride train from Cairo to
What dreams did you have for Mark in the future?
I had I had many dreams for his success, for being part of him. I also he already kind of did that, as he kind of opened the door for his siblings. So when he does shows and he won awards, they would easily let Jacob, for example, do those shows as well. And he did great, but he wasn't Mark on stage, but he did amazing. And I thought the same will happen with Zachary. When he got into Oaks and he interviewed great and he got a big discount. They told us upfront, I mean, we would love to have his siblings with him. And it's a very competitive, and I thought also for college. I mean, I thought he will go to Harvard or Rice or UCSF or something like that, and he will do great and open the door for his brothers to join him, and they will be motivated and follow his footsteps, and it will be like a positive cycle for everyone.
Did you dream of when you were going to take Mark eventually away to college?
Of course.
Tell us about that.
And this is a very hard time now for that, because by now he would have known which college he will be going to, and we will be preparing. It was my birthday one time, and he asked me, "Hey, what would you like to do for your 50th birthday?" And I told him I didn't go to college in the U.S., and my college days were very uneventful. So for my 50th birthday, I want to take Jacob and go visit you for a week in college, because it will be your first year in college, and spend time with you, get the experience. I told him, but just tell us ahead of time, tell Jacob ahead of time which girl is off limits, because Jacob is a chick magnet, so be careful.
Tell us, I mean, you told us how he treated people, and you told us how he treated his siblings. Did other parents, teachers, and such comment about his kindness and his demeanor?
All the teachers that interacted with Mark said something about that, certainly before he passed away, but and even more certainly after he passed away. And not only the teachers, but other people as well.
I want to ask you two more questions on Mark. What has your family lost emotionally with Mark on?
We lost everything that I just described. The joy of seeing him, the joy of seeing his success, the joy of hearing his thoughtful words and actions, the pride, the connectivity, the overall optimism that he enabled me to feel.
What have you personally lost as losing Mark as a son?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I before with Mark, I saw him when he was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and every year was a lot more amazing than the year before. So I kind of rightfully so build the expectations that the best is yet to come, and it will be an amazing ride. So when I have problems at work or any challenges in life, which like anyone, I had a lot of cushion, because I thought, I mean, my kids are amazing. I'm so blessed. I have amazing 3 boys and a girl, and Mark is flourishing and setting the stage for his siblings and rewarding for us. So I felt invincible. I felt like
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a couple pictures and I'm going to ask you, I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. And I'm not trying to hold you back, but we got time today. So I want to kind of go a little faster here just to get done. So let's look at 1567. And just tell us who's that, what's going on there.
That is Jacob. You know, when I said he was a chick magnet, I wasn't not joking. There was a dad and me day, and I remember two of his colleagues, Juliana and Levi, were literally fighting to hold his hand. And it was me and their parents next to me, and I felt very proud. I felt embarrassed for them.
Let's see,
But he-
4326.
Hi, my name is Jacob Iskander, and I'm going to show you how you do something the Jacob way, and also known as cool. So maybe you can eat on the floor and do something awesome, and maybe try and do stuff, anything cool. Sometimes it can be like spinning or do something. Sometimes you can just try and look cool. Sometimes you like as in doing dance moves at parties to try and impress people. Maybe if you break dance, maybe you can do it at break dance and you'll be known everywhere. Well, that's at least how I did it. And I am just a pro. I'm a pro.
Who's that coming in the picture?
That's Zachary.
Just tell us overall about Jacob, personality, what he was like.
My mother-in-law and my sister-in-law always made fun of me of how I thought of Jacob. Literally, Jacob is the boy I always wished to be my entire life. He's just naturally cool. He's attractive, nonchalant, very very confident, also very athletic. He makes us proud. In every time I took him to any type of game, he just thrived. They nicknamed him at school and in his soccer league, the YSO league, the Beast, because he gave everything his whole. I mean, he would be super disciplined and super dedicated in everything he does. Whether it's building something or sports or studying, he's just very determined and doesn't give up until it's done.
What about his faith?
He had a very deep and strong faith, and I think it goes with this personality, like the strengths in character, strengths in physically, and strengths in faith. He had the three complementing each other. But let me add one more thing. Days before he passed away, he recited to me the entire Hebrew 11 chapter.
Let me show that. That's just 40 verses. That's Exhibit 432 from the King James edition, Hebrews 11. And just, we're not going to go read it all, but
Okay, you want to sit down?
sorry. So, what is Hebrews 11 about?
It's about faith, but not only faith in speaking, but faith in actions.
Can we put it up there? Thank you. And just, who are the people that are talked about in there?
It tells about the faith of different prophets in history, but the fact that Jacob memorized it and was able to recite it. First of all, Mom worked very hard with him on this. I mean, it was not just because of Jacob, it's because Nancy and Jacob. But I can assure you, Nancy could spend a year with me and I will never be able to recite this. And he learned this in less than a month.
And how old was he?
8.
Let's just see how long it is. It goes 40 verses. So there's the first page. Go to the next page. All the way down to 40. So he was able to stand up, recite from memory this entire 40 verses of Hebrew 11.
Yeah.
Was Jacob mentioned in there?
Yeah, he always liked that there is a part about Jacob, and he always liked the couple of verses about Jacob in the Bible, and he always said, when I meet Jacob, I will ask him how come he tricked his father like this.
You mentioned that he was fit and tough. Tell us about that.
Yeah, he was very unique about that. I don't know where he got it from, but he was super fit. He liked to do push-ups. He would do 50 at a time. He got really good at it. One day, mom challenged him, said, instead of doing 100 push-ups, 50 and 50, why don't you do 200? He did 400. That was the kind of kid he is. We will tell him, we did cross-country running during COVID with United Track, with a running club, and he got me in the best shape since graduate school because of his determination and his run, and I had to catch up with him because he was still young and I don't want him to.
Did you run together?
We ran together 4 times a week in the track, and then sometimes if we miss it for other reasons, we'll make up for it.
Were you part of a track club?
It is United Track Club.
You shared that together?
It's a what?
It's in the neighborhood, but actually we did we pretty much went to every trail in Southern Oaks, Agora Hills, Malibu. One of the last trips were in the trails where they recorded the MASH show, and there were like the leftover of the set and stuff. And I told him, you are too young to watch that show, but it's a fun show, and one day we will watch it together and remember this is exactly the set that it was recorded at.
The show 1542.
Yeah, this is
What's he doing
this is
here?
Jacob. He liked to climb walls, and he will climb walls just with his hands or just with his legs. I don't even know how physically is that possible, but he was very fit, light on his feet. He was able to do this, and this is Zachary, proud of him, taking pictures of his brother, hanging on walls like this. He was just like a spider.
Did Jacob take great pride in his physical fitness and stature and strength?
Yeah, he knew what he has. He was again, they called him the beast in school, and in church they called him the tough guy in Arabic. So it's kind of it's like calling somebody Rambo here. It's kind of like a character in Egypt, and they will call him that because he was a truly tough guy.
I didn't ask you, but what is your first native language?
Arabic.
So growing up, that's what you spoke.
Yeah, that's what we spoke, but the kids had very little of it.
Did you learn English somewhere?
Yeah, I learned English initially at school, but also throughout.
Okay. I want to show exhibit 405. What is this?
Yeah, this was the first track meet that he went to, and he won the first place for his age, and he was the youngest too because he's born in January, so he got with the he was relatively.
Was he in other sports too?
Several. So he played basketball. We play also. I don't know, we will get into playing things with Mark or not yet, but we also did a lot of football, touch football, especially during COVID. So it will always be me against the two of them, and Mark will plan the play on the ball. I don't know if this is an American thing or he made it up, but he will describe to Jacob, like, this is the field, this is where you're gonna run. You will stand here, then you run there, and I pass it to you there. And Jacob is super fast in sprinting, as you can see. So in very recently, they start winning, and I would give it all my strength. Initially, I was like being soft on them, but after a while, I was actually not keeping up with them, and I was very proud of them.
Did you all share special foods that you liked and others maybe didn't in the family?
Mark and Jacob was quite different in their taste. Mark liked spicy and food with sauce, and sometimes he will make it. Sometimes we'll go explore different ones. Jacob really liked soup, super healthy food. He would like steamed broccoli. That was one of his favorite things. Steamed tofu. And I told him, like, at least fry it and put some sauce in it. No, I want steamed tofu. So he would like very healthy, and he inclined to be vegetarian. I think at a certain point in time, I really expected him to switch to vegetarian, but you never know, the different age, different desires. Yeah.
Right. Let's show 1580, and while we're doing that, tell us what were Jacob's dreams of what he wanted and loved to do.
So by the way, this is a picture in Cancun, and with me, and I think I'm carrying Violet on my shoulders. So, by the way, Violet still gets very tired when she walks, and she always asks me to carry her on her shoulder. And she's 7 now, and I have back pain, and it's not easy. I always think of, like, where is Mark and Jacob? They will have 14 and 17 now. They will be taller than me, or my height at least. This was in Cancun. He wanted, your question, what he wanted to
dreams was he talk about share with you.
Yeah, he liked building things, and he wanted to be a construction worker or an architect, and he was quite talented at building things. He will see something on TV and he will build it. He saw an ad for spice rack. He went and got cardboard and built a replica of it. When we order something from Amazon or from IKEA, he will build it practically on his own. We bought wood from Home Depot, and we built an outdoor set, table, benches, and chairs that we used for 2 years and continue to use, actually, for 5 years after. And we built it together. He really liked building things and designing things, and we did that together as a bonding sometimes, and sometimes it's actually helping me in assembling things.
What role did Jacob play, or was he growing into in your family, if any?
He was definitely the protector of the family, and he really cherished that type of role. He said he will always say that to Violet: "I will protect you. I will teach you things." He was into ninja and kickboxing, and he said that I will teach her kickboxing so she knows how to defend herself. And yeah, that's his role with his even with his older brother. So even Mark, sometimes he will be scared in the dark, and he will wake up Jacob, say, "Come with me," and Jacob's like, "Yeah, no problem with the dark, no problem with anything." He comes with him. Even his older brother was counting on Jacob.
1574, I want to show you and tell us when this picture was taken and what was occurring at this time. 1574. While he's doing that,
Yeah, that was either 2 days or 3 days before he died. We were in Hermosa Beach. We had Airbnb. Um, me and Jacob did boogie boards, and for Mark's birthday, I got him a surfboard as his birthday gift. So we went there to also try the surfboard, and it's interesting because when we went there, the house we rented had surfboards. So I asked Mark, and the surfboards we had probably was a little bit more professional, like higher quality. And I told him, would you like to use the more professional one? It's like, no, I want to use the one you got me that. So Mark used his surfboard, and me and Jacob did boogie boards together. And me and Jacob didn't like the cold water, so we wear wetsuits, but Mark didn't care about the cold water.
How did Jacob show affection towards your wife, Nancy?
He was amazing. He would always say, I will be your protector, Mom. Don't worry about anything in life. I am here for you. And on September 29th, when Mark passed away and Jacob was flat on the floor, Nancy kept crying for him and saying, Jacob, I need you. You are my support. I need you even more. I need to count on you. I need to lean on you.
I'm going to show 1549. Some Jacob wrote about you.
Yes, that was in school, and he said, for fun, we like to spend time with me, and it's true. I was always, again, super proud of him. He was my dream boy, really, and I was very proud of him.
What have you lost emotionally in losing him?
I mentioned he was uniquely strong and determined, and I felt, and in Hermosa Beach, the same day we took the picture with this, I remember seeing him running on the sand, and I was thinking to myself, I can't wait for next summer to see him, how he will flourish, how he will open up. Because Mark from 8, 9, 10, 11, he flourished. And Jacob is so cool and so strong. So I really wanted to see how he will turn. At the time, I was just thinking for one more year. But now I think for many years after. And he will be 14 now. He will be a big, tough boy.
4337 is a speech by Jacob.
Just did.
He just did.
God takes you from the past, renews you and washes off all your sins. Then cuts off the top and sweeps out all the dusty stuff. He removes the doubt, hate, and grief. Last comes you with smiling face and puts his light inside of you to shine for all the world.
Yeah, that was, I think, his rehearsal for a on-stage talent show also. I mentioned he followed his brother's footsteps. And
Let me see, counsel. It's
Yes, Sean. No, you're not good.
Yeah. All right. Proceed.
Let's talk about the bond between the three boys, Mark, Jacob, Zachary. I want to show you 1513. Where's that?
This is in Hermosa Beach, also Noble Park there, and the three boys, the two boys carrying Zachary. This was a common theme
Did they play games together?
all the time.
What did they
all
do?
the-
Tell us.
All type of games, whether it's sports, board games, Roblox also. So they taught Zachary Roblox and made an account for him, and they will also make him win. So they will go in the game and fight his enemies, and if they are fighting with him, they make themselves lose, so he get points and get successful. And like a week after they passed away, Zachary told me that, and I couldn't even get him into the game because Mark was the one who set it up, and I didn't know how to log in and all of that, but he many things.
Did you spend time with your boys every day?
Yes, every evening we will do something together, whether it's going for ice cream or wings, or going to play like football in the park, or basketball, or baseball, or something together. Especially during COVID time, it was just us together, so we actually even bonded even stronger.
And is that what your family was doing on September 29th, 2020?
Yes, exactly.
What were you doing?
So after work, we wanted to get the kids out like every day, and we asked them, and they picked to do like skateboard and rollerblades. Three Springs is a bit hilly, but once you go down the Three Springs, it becomes very flat land. So I took them with the car to the entry of our community. And then we went on Triunfo Canyon, because it has a very wide sidewalk, like 8 or 10 feet sidewalk. And it's it's like a mile and a half. So it's a very nice and safe way, and it has a bike lane next to it.
And backing up just a step, how did Mark and Jacob treat their siblings? I want to show 15-20.
This is the family, the three boys and Violet.
And
They loved Violet.
what was Mark and Jacob's relationship with her?
One was the caring older brother, and one was the protector older brother, and there was a little bit of a competition who wins her heart more, but they were super happy to have a baby sister, and also of course the three boys and me, we were always hanging out together and
I
playing.
want to
together.
show 43-29.
Dad, go. Who's your favorite brother? Who's your favorite brother? I'm not Shishin. Who's your favorite brother? I'm not Shishin. I'm Bob. Who's your favorite brother? Who's your favorite brother?
Let's
They loved each other, and they loved their sister. And Mark and Jacob love to do things for her, like putting on her
For her
clothes,
sister.
putting on her shoes, playing with her, being very affectionate, kissing her hand, kissing her forehead.
So let's go back to where we were. You're on Triumphal, and who was together?
So I put Violet in the stroller, in the jogging stroller, and the presidential debate was starting. So I also was listening to the presidential debate in my ear, and
And that was going on while you were running.
correct, yeah, it's yeah.
And this is what time?
It's hard to remember, but it's probably around 6 o'clock.
So you're out. Do you separate from the rest of the family?
So we started at the intersection of Three Springs and Triumph Canyon, walking toward Lindero, toward the lake and the mountain, and but on the right side, on the mountainside. And then I asked Mark and Jacob, "Do you wanna run with me, or you wanna walk with Mom and Zachary?" And they said, "No, we will walk with Mom and Zachary." So I started running with Violet.
And were you with them at the time they were crossing the crosswalk?
No, I was not.
Had you crossed many, many times in that crosswalk?
Few times.
Had you ever had any problems?
No.
What happened next?
So I kept going. I passed Saddle Mountain, and I kept going to Lindero. And we do that. I mean, this is a very, like when I said when I go biking with Mark, I do the exact same thing. When I go running with Jacob, we do the exact same path. So I'm very familiar with that path area. So when I get to Lindero, usually I have two choices: either just turn around and come back, or make a left in Lindero and go through this windy, nice trail, like sidewalk trail. But when I got there, I said, okay, let me turn around so we can go home before it gets dark. And I also, Violet was asleep. And typically she falls asleep. Like if she falls asleep for a while. She suddenly screamed, and it was very hard to calm her down. So I spent about 3-4 minutes trying to calm her down. It was around the intersection of Lindero and Triumph Canyon. I do believe that this probably related to a noise or something that bothered her or triggered her to cry like this. Once she calmed down, I start running back toward Saddle Mountain, which is on the way to Three Springs. And about halfway between Lindero and Saddle Mountain, that path is about 1 mile between Lindero and Saddle Mountain. So if you are in Lindero turning into Triumph Canyon, there is about half a mile to reach the crosswalk. It is not, I turn right and suddenly the crosswalk is in my face. So if somebody say that, it's a lie. So you turn right. So that path is about half a mile. And halfway through that run, my wife called me.
What did she say?
She said, a tragedy or a disaster happened. Mark died. And I screamed back and I said, don't say that. Don't say that. And I threw the phone and the ear buds on the stroller and ran towards Saddle Mountain.
And tell us what area you were approaching from.
I was coming from Lindero on the mountainside, on the sidewalk, reaching the intersection of Triumph Canyon and Saddle Mountain.
Where the crosswalk was.
Yeah, that.
And what did you see when you got there?
I saw the fire truck blocking the road, and I saw. So Nancy told me, Mark passed away, so I saw kid laying flat, and I ran to him because I knew it's Mark, and there were people and paramedics trying to help. And when I came close to his face, it's not Mark, it's Jacob. So I told Nancy, "That's not Mark. That's Jacob. That is hit." And she didn't know Mark is down the road.
How far from the crosswalk would you estimate he was located when you found him?
Jacob was not too far, but he was with an angle. So I think it's about maybe 50 feet and close to the sidewalk.
Then what did you do?
I went to Mark. I ran to Mark. It was a long distance. I had to run. It was not something like this. It was far.
Well, you were indicating the back of the courtroom.
Yeah.
It was much further than that.
Yes, it was. Yeah, maybe from Jacob to Mark is probably 200 feet or so. So I ran. I got to Mark. I saw Mark on the floor on his side with blood and vomit in front of his mouth. And there was a paramedic or firefighter, I'm not sure, but and he told me, "Are you?" It was obvious on my face, so he told me, "Are you his dad?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Give him mouth to mouth." So I started giving him mouth to mouth, and when I pushed air into his mouth, the blood shooted out of his ears, which I immediately felt it's really bad. I mean, if this is the anatomy of his head, and if you push air and it shoots blood from his ears, it's really bad.
Then what did you do?
And I continued like for a minute or two, and then the paramedics said stop, and I said why, and he said he's dead, and I told him why. He's in one piece. Let's not give up. Let's keep trying. Sometimes people come back, and he's like, no, he will not come back. I said, why? What is the cause? Why are you saying? Why did you reach this conclusion? He said, like, it's severe trauma to his internal organ. He will not come back. I held his hand and his arm, and it felt very weird because it felt like it has no bones. His arm has no structure. Those bones, as if it didn't exist. I think, my guess, they got shattered by the impact, that his hand had no structure like a normal hand.
It was in a very odd shape.
It's flexed.
We've seen pictures. We don't need to show it.
Okay.
But what you saw was very abnormal the way it looked, and it was obviously injured.
Correct.
All right. What did you do next?
I ran back to Jacob. I think by this time the more advanced paramedics were there, and they had like IV fluid and breathers and stuff like that. And I told Nancy, Jacob is super strong. He will bounce back. He will bounce back. He will recover. He'll be fine. I wasn't sure that this is the case because he looked really bad too. He looked very pale.
But you were trying to comfort.
I was trying to comfort Nancy and myself, but mostly Nancy. And then I went to a grassy area there. It was exactly between Mark and Jacob. I cried, and I remember keep telling myself, this is not happening. This is not happening. Then I tell myself, no, this happened. You can't do anything about it. You have to deal with it. You have to accept it. And then I go back to saying, it's not happening. It's not happening. And I thought this is a shock, but in a weird way, this is still until today. That's how I feel. I can't imagine not taking Mark next year to college. I still feel it's not happening. Can't imagine that Jacob is not 14-year-old fit boy, charismatic, making me happy and making his mom happy and helping his siblings.
What
very
did-
hard to accept or believe
What
that,
did,
that
what
this
did
is
you
the
do
case.
next?
I spoke to, they told us they will take Jacob to the hospital for surgery. So I called my brother Rafa, who is a pediatric neurologist. Then go to Los Robles. Jacob is going there. Like that. And I called my mother-in-law, asked her to come to pick up Zachary. And I also told her,
So who was at the hospital? You, Nancy, Zachary, and then Mark and Jacob brought by the emergency personnel.
yes, when we arrived
And
at the
Violet.
hospital, Jacob and my brother were already there. My other brother called me in the car, more or less to prepare me, because he heard from my other brother that things are not good. He called me. He said things doesn't look good. The pupils are fully dilated, which means there is no signal coming from the brain to his eyes. When we walked into the ER, Rafat was super stuttering. He couldn't explain anything to me. The words were just not coming out of his mouth. So the ER doctor spoke to us, and I told him why he's not in surgery, and he said, "No, we are not taking him to surgery." He said he is internally decapitated, and we don't think we can fix that with surgery. I told him, how do you know that? So it's like we did, I think, CT scan or something like that. So I told him, show me on the CT scan. So he pulled the CT scan and he showed me how his neck is not aligned straight. His head is not attached to his neck. And I said, this means he's quadriplegic. He said, at least he's quadriplegic, but there is also severe brain edema and no signaling to the eyes. So I don't think he said the words, but he implied that he's been there.
What happened next?
They asked me, do you want us to airlift him to Shula Hospital, but he's unlikely to arrive alive. He asked if we want to stop the ventilator, and I said no. Then he said, then we will transfer to a room so you have more privacy with him, but we cannot guarantee that he will arrive to the room alive. And then they transferred him to the room. He was still alive at the moment, and Nancy and I sat on the two sides of him in bed for about an hour, and by that time he passed away. His heart stopped.
Then what'd you do?
We spoke to the staff there so that he goes to the same place as Mark and not to the Ventura County coroner. And then we went home. It felt horrible to go back because we left as a full family. We came back without Mark and Jacob forever.
Did you get to spend time with Jacob before he died?
Yes, and
What was that like?
right. It was very hard. I kissed his feet, and right before we start running, he told me his lips are dry and they hurt. So I told him, tough it up. You're a tough guy. We'll deal with it when we go home. So in the hospital, I saw how dry his lips are and chopped. I really wanted to ask for Vaseline to put it on it, but I was embarrassed that they're gonna think I'm crazy or something, because what's the point?
And then what happened?
We went home. By that time, it was close to morning, and then in the morning, Zachary came and asked me and Mom, I know Mark passed away, but please tell me Jacob is coming home. And we told him, no, he's not. He went with his brother.
This would be a good time for a short break, Your Honor.
So, members of the jury, I'm going to make a big ask. I'm going to ask that we take a break now for about 10 minutes, and then we'll delay the lunch break and just go to the end of this testimony and then call it a day. Are you okay with that? All right. So do not talk about the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. We'll see you back in about 10 minutes. There is a president, you may be seated. Please continue.
Yes, thank you. Where did your family live at the time this occurred?
We lived in Three Springs community in Westlake Village.
About how far was that from where the boys were struck in the crosswalk?
It's, the entry of the community is maybe about more or less about half a mile or 1 mile, and the house is about 1 mile inside the community.
What happened to that house after the deaths of Mark and Jacob?
So, of course, different people had different reactions. So Nancy was struggling with the area and with the house. Everything is a trigger point, and she will cry at school, cry driving, cry in the house, cry everywhere. I was attached to the house where the memories of Mark and Jacob, where I like to sleep in his bed. I like to go to the intersection of Southern Mountain and Triumphal, because that's the last minutes on here, and that's where they left. I like to go to the grassy area there. So because of Nancy's sensitivity, she stayed a bit with her sister in Austin, and then she asked me, let's move to Austin.
That's Texas?
Texas, yeah. But we didn't want to throw away anything. So all their clothes were in the closets, all their stuff were there, all their toys were around, everything they had were there. So we left everything as is, and we went to Texas. We bought a house, and we furnished the house from, Wayfair and Amazon stuff. And we moved there with the intent to stay there and eventually, maybe in a year or two, sell the house in California. But after a year, when we came back, I always wanted to stay in the house. And when we came back to kind of start collecting our belongings, Nancy felt a little bit more like, it's okay, maybe I'll try to stay, and we want to continue the work in the community and keep Mark and Jacob remembered. And when she started the foster agency, she started things under their name, and there was debate whether to go back or not, and we decided just to stay. So we came back to California, and we stayed in the house for 4 more years until for work reasons. We were, when they passed away, I was at Amgen. And when I went back to work, of course, everyone knew Mark and Jacob very well. They had daily prayer and therapy meetings when I was on leave. They were very affected by what happened because they knew them personally, particularly Mark. So it was a lot of pressure on me to be with the same people and also even the same collaborators, because they also knew the news. And every time I go for a business meeting, the business meeting ended up being, not a business meeting, and it was just it was too much for me. So I wanted to switch. So I switched to a smaller company in rare disease, like lysosomal storage diseases, genetic diseases, but after a couple of years, the company didn't do so well. So I looked for new opportunities, and by then, all the companies were kind of come back to work in the office, and most of the companies that were hiring were in Boston or New Jersey. So I took a job in Boston, and we had to move. So we moved.
And has Nancy ever been back to the scene?
She went back the same day we buried the kids, but that was the only time she went back to the scene that I recall.
How has the relocation affected your family's connection with Mark and Jacob?
It's very complicated. I mean, in the area, this is the people that actually met and knew Mark and Jacob. So, in a way, living there, it kept them, I mean, not alive, but at least their memories alive, the real memories, the people who knew them alive and around us, and also, taking care of the things that we started. But at the same time, it is a constant reminder being there. But we didn't have a choice. So we was like, you know what, let's just do it. And we'll see how we will feel about it a year or two later. And it's tough. They are buried very close to our house. And, yeah.
What can you tell us in your own words how the loss of Micah, of Mark and Jacob has affected you in your life?
Again, they open up opportunities in my life. Their social success, their sport success was making me very proud, very strong, very empowered. I was less worried about Nancy and the younger kids if something to happen to me, because I knew I have two talented, strong, capable, and caring young men that are growing up. And that is taken away from me.
How has your outlook for the future changed?
I was very optimistic before, and very confident that things will keep getting better, because they have been getting better. I mean, we had our girl that we had 3 boys and me, and we were bonding. It just was, every year was better. Mark kept thriving, Jacob was thriving, and I was super excited about our family. We were planning to take, when COVID comes down, we were planning to do a photo shoot with us saying, like, for Violet, like, if you want her, you need to go through me and me and me and me, with me and the boys around Violet. Everything was as close to perfect as it can you ever imagine. It was actually more than I thought life could be. And I got excited and used to it, but that all got
How has that
shattered.
changed?
That all got shattered. So now I'm the opposite. I am worried about what will happen in the future. I'm worried that this is the beginning. This is the big hit that is the beginning of bad things. I'm worried about my wife. I'm worried about my kids. I can help it but think, okay, how would these kids will end up hurting me? Would it be something that they do, or something that will happen to them like a disease, or something that somebody else will do to them, like in the case of Mark and Jacob?
How has your outlook in the future changed, if it has?
Everything changed because, first of all, I can dare, like, when something good happens, I can dare to enjoy it. How can I enjoy it without Mark and Jacob? They got crushed and died. Crushed and died. They were the apple of my eye. And then when something bad happens, like the work issues or things like that, there is no cushion. Even with the little baby, if he's have a tantrum, there is no reserve to be able to absorb the stress. And not only that, I'm dealing with this, but I'm seeing my wife completely heartbroken. I'm seeing Zachary completely heartbroken. He doesn't laugh, he doesn't smile like before. And when he smiles, I see it even more obvious. I see his broken heart through his smile even more than when he's not smiling.
Did you seek some counseling to deal with the issues related to this?
Yeah, I had a couple of, I don't remember if it's psychiatric or psychologist, but I had a couple of counseling, and I reached the conclusion that they are absolutely not helpful. If
Did
any,
you-
I was getting irritated because there is no more. They didn't know what they were very well trained, but there is nothing that any human being can say that can make things better. I mean, unless you can bring Mark and Jacob back, then just better not
And did
not
you-
talk.
Talk to religious figures like priests and things like that?
Yeah, I spoke with our Coptic priest, Ascension pastors, and it's a little helpful because it's it is faith oriented, and they promise that they are in a better place. No one can hurt them now. I mean, the hurting part is over, but it doesn't fix anything in my life. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't bring what I lost.
All right, I want to show you 15-30, and I want to ask you, before the collision, how would you describe your son Zachary?
Oh, so super happy, but also super dependent on his brothers. He lived in his shadow. Oh, this is we were in San Diego. We went to San Diego Zoo, and this was I think the morning we were heading to the San Diego Zoo. That's Mark, Jacob, and Zachary.
What is the difference in age between Mark and Zachary?
They are more or less 3 years apart, all of them. So, but Jacob is slightly closer to Mark. So it's 2.5 years between Mark and Jacob, and 3.5 years between Jacob and Zachary, and it's almost exactly 6 years between Mark and Zachary.
How did losing Mark and Jacob affect Zachary?
It completely changed his life. He's still trying to find himself after the loss.
And Zachary was there at the scene with your wife when both the boys were run over in the crosswalk.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes, he was there.
And he was there for the whole aftermath and all the things that occurred.
Yes, he was.
And have you seen changes in him as he was before and as he is now?
Very much. I mean, he doesn't smile like this now, and when he smiles, it's not like this now. He found somebody himself alone and unaccountable to be the bigger brother, although he was just following the footsteps of his two older brothers.
Has he struggled emotionally?
Yes, he did.
Tell us how.
He cried a lot, and he saw his mom cry every day, and he was trying to hide his sadness because he's sensitive to his mom, because if he cries, she cries. We did do therapy for him. We had regular therapy for him. We called it the feelings doctor.
Does Zachary talk to his brothers?
Can you clarify?
Does he talk about, say, Mark and Jacob and things about them, and talk
All the
like
time.
he's actually communicating with them?
No, all the time he talks about them and about how awesome they are and how he missed them and how he wished they were here.
All right. Your wife, Nancy Iskander,
Mhm.
prior to her two sons being killed with her, how would you describe her as a mother?
Nancy, especially after having the second kid, Jacob, she became very focused on her motherly role, and her satisfaction and her life mission is to invest very hard, invest everything in the kids, and her reward is when they flourish, when they thrive. So when they do good in school, that brings her joy, that brings her happiness. When they do good in stage, that will bring her happiness, that makes her proud. When they do well socially, she's proud of them and she's happy for their happiness. When they have close friends, that's the same case. That is her primary satisfaction, is to see that the hard work that she is putting in the kids is paying off. So it was an unbelievable blow. Remind me with the question again, sorry.
How has it affected her? But how did she, did you observe the affection between Nancy and the boys?
Yes,
Tell
very
us about
much.
that.
She loved them with all her heart, and they loved her back. And she would always think of things to like keep them entertained, but there is always a hidden development. Like she wants to teach them something in everything. So whether we are playing games and we want to teach them how to play well, teach them sportsmanship, teach them to think smart and to think quickly, and she always dedicated all her energy and effort into that, and they loved her back, and they cared, and they surprised her a lot, and they did nice things. Jacob would always organize his room, organize the kitchen, do things for her, offer to do things for her. Mark was, super smooth guy. I mean, he knows how to keep somebody happy.
What did you observe in Nancy, how she was doing immediately after this happened?
A mix of crushed, heartbroken, and shocked and disappointed, feeling all her strong effort and work suddenly just gone, and all the love back, affections back, protection, promise, dreams, it's gone.
Has her personality changed?
Yes.
Tell us how.
Several things. Other than being always inability to enjoy things. Before, things would make her happy. Now it's just that ability is gone. Her motivation in career growth or became practically not there. Like she lost appetite for any career endeavors.
Is this something you see on a daily basis?
Yeah. There is part of her heart died with them. And that created a vacuum. And I see that every day. Zachary sees it, Violet sees it, Solomon sees it.
Okay. And you and your wife and Zachary have brought this lawsuit, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that Rebecca Grossman and Dr. Peter Grossman are blaming you and your wife for the deaths of your sons?
I'm not necessarily aware, but I'm not surprised. That has been the case. Let me take that back. Denying responsibility and avoiding accountability has been the stand of all three of them. And that's why we are here. So the law can hold them accountable. The jurors can hold them accountable. If they are not taking accountability or responsibility, this is the United States of America. There is a justice system that doesn't differentiate and they hold people accountable.
And have you seen text messages where Rebecca Grossman sent to Cindy Hare, the person she was drinking margaritas with, before she went to drink again at another bar and before she struck and killed your two sons? Have you seen messages that she sent blaming you?
I saw those at the opening segment for the first time.
Before this, you didn't know Rebecca Grossman, right?
No, we did not.
You didn't know Scott Erickson, right?
We did not.
Did
We thought we at the beginning we thought before we know who hit the kids, we thought those will be like two teenagers racing their parents' cars. That was our first guess to what happened.
Do you think about Mark and Jacob every day?
Absolutely.
What do you miss most about Mark?
His wit, sense of humor, his smartness, his affections, his engagement, making me proud, creating in Arabic is shalla, creating like a group of friends that we can interact with and have social network that he tend to glue together.
What do you miss most about Jacob?
His strength, his success, his attractiveness, making us proud in sports, making us proud in not giving up on anything that he does, his resilience, and really counting on. I just felt more secure. A year and a half ago, I had back pain and I couldn't move for 3 days. I kept thinking how they will be carrying me up the stairs. Those type of things, it happened. And this is just an example. Every day I think of this.
Anything else you want to share with us about Mark and Jacob we haven't told us about?
I miss them every day. That's a reality.
I want to show you one last exhibit, and this is exhibit 402-5, and this is an exhibit, a sculpture, and this is something that, tell us, how did you come across this?
I don't remember who introduced this to me, but it was introduced by someone saying this is someone who lost a loved one, and he or she tried to depict it in this statue, and this is a spot on. And not only I see it in myself, but I see it in my wife and in my son.
Thank you. No further questions.
Can I just do the hearing? Just a couple questions.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Iskander.
Come
I
on.
just have a couple of questions for you. I think I understood very clearly from your description of where you were at the time that this accident occurred, being at Triumphal and Lindero. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. And I think I recall you had your earbuds in listening to the debate. Is that true?
Correct.
And I also think that I heard you say you didn't see any cars when you were there. Is that right?
I did not notice. By the way, I was running with the stroller. I keep my eyes on the pavement, on the sidewalk, to avoid any ways of tripping or stuff like that. So I'm listening to the debate, looking in front of the stroller. So I did not recall seeing any cars on either side. So I'm also on the opposite side. Remember, I am on the going to Lindero side, not on the side that they came from. And I also didn't notice the fire truck or anything.
You didn't see any cars, correct?
Or any cars. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. No other questions?
Good morning, Mr. Iskander. I just have a few questions for you. You told us that after the incident occurred, while you were still in Westlake, you would go to the area where the incident occurred and sit on the grass. That was done. You chose to do that.
Correct.
Why did you choose to do that?
Emotionally, I got very connected to that. This is the last time they were alive, and I felt this is their. For me, it's like people go visit the cemetery. I went to the cemetery, but there is just their dead body. There, it's their last time. They were happy, alive, and together.
When you would sit in that grassy area, did it make you feel closer to the boys?
It did make me closer to the boys. It also made me closer to the feeling of this can be happening. It's not a positive feeling. It's a negative feeling, but I also want to go there. I don't know. It's like visiting cemetery. It's like you want to be there, but it's not a pleasant.
I know that the family has spent some time in Texas and since then in Boston. Has the family had any discussions about moving back to Southern California?
Yes, we discussed that, but no decision. We discussed a lot.
There's been no decision, but it's still being discussed?
Correct, and there is I am also the primary provider, and my work is in Boston, so I do not have that option, in the immediate future. I don't like changing jobs.
I'm sorry?
I don't like to change jobs frequently. So
Okay,
I have
and
a
the
job.
reason you're in Boston at this moment is solely for the job?
It's for the job, and we think, okay, if God chose this for us, let's not resist God's will, and let's give it a try. Maybe it will end up being better for the family, for Zachary, because he was still living in the shadows of his brother too much in Southern Oaks, and seeing all their friends at school and at church, and it was, adding, living not a different life than any 10-year-old. So it was like, if God chose that, let's just follow his path and see where we will end.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Questions from the jury? Thank you, sir. You're excused. All right. So we're going to break for the day. See you back here Monday, 9:15. Do not talk about the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else.